We've come a long way in 30 years, from 8-hour live studio shows with one host, one camera, and an overhead mic, to satellite remotes from around the world. We've been through a lot of changes. And yet, through all the celebrated talent with the six-figure salaries and the high-powered executives who are here today, gone tomorrow, one thing will never change, and that's the day-in and day-out dedication and hard work of the people behind the scenes, without whom nothing would get done. We are here today to honor the men and women of NABET, who 30 years ago helped set a standard of excellence that has allowed television to reach a popularity and influence unparalleled in history. You were the ones who made it work in the beginning and continue to make it work today. We salute you.
The following program is brought to you in living color on WMAQ TV.
Vic and Sade. That was one of the early television programs. Maybe you remember some of them, or perhaps you've just heard about them as somebody's fond memory. They're part of what's called television's golden age, and they were produced right here in Chicago. Channel 5's call letters were WNBQ in those days. Tonight we'd like to recall some of the programs that helped put Chicago on the map as a television pioneer. In January 1949, the first daytime television serial appeared on Channel 5. It was These Are My Children. And then just a few months later, Chicago audiences were watching another early television soap opera, Hawkins Falls.
In Hawkins Falls, people say,
even with high prices, it still pays the highest for honesty.
Hawkins Falls, a television novel that tells the story of life in small-town USA. This program comes to you from Hawkins Falls by way of Chicago.
Kukla, Fran, and Ollie, on January 11th, 1949, became Chicago's first offering to the NBC network. Another product of the Chicago school was Garraway at Large, starring former Chicago disc jockey Dave Garraway.
Well, good evening. Good to see you home. Very good to see you home. If you weren't home and if we weren't home, we wouldn't be together on Sunday nights, which we love pretty much.
Another live variety show was the Wayne King Show, including a chorus and orchestra.
You know, putting this show together was a lot of fun because every episode that we have used or going to use in this show tonight was chosen by someone who was a part of this program. For instance, this first song, which is Deep Purple, is being sung by Harry Hall and the chorus and everyone else, was chosen by these three wonderful cameramen.
From the beginning, news was an important factor in Chicago television. Here you see our first newscaster, Clifton Utley, with his wife, Frayne, who were two of the leading news analysts in Chicago. You'll recognize many of the news persons here, beginning with Johnny Earp. Many have gone on to other cities. Fred Thomas, Keith Klein, Jane Pauley, and our top anchorman for 15 years, Floyd Calvert. Francis Horowitz kept children glued to their television sets for many years with Ding Dong School.
Good morning. How are you this morning? What did you do all weekend? You know, over Saturday and Sunday.
Club 60, hosted by Dennis James and then by Howard Miller, brought many personalities to Chicago. And before we close, Faye Emerson has a few words about Chicago television.
Gee, they sure do things differently here on this show that comes to you from Chicago.
Then we came back and, well, you know, it's always good to be home because the kids are around and... How are you? We're home, all right. Come on down here. Well, I don't know why people on TV worry so much about the presence of the boom microphone in the picture. There's nothing repulsive about it at all. It's a rather handsome and very fascinating thing to watch. Why don't you just stay down here for a minute and let the folks see how you work? Come on over and meet some people I know. We'll go over here this way. Boom microphones actually are just as pretty as, well, not as Connie Russell or as even Jack Haskell, but now, you know Connie Russell, don't you, kid? Well, sure. And Jack Haskell? You know the mic.
Sure.
Would you mind if he sat in on this number?
Not at
Glad
all.
to have him. Good little beat he has. Shoot, Joe.
Sing, sing, zoom, zoom.
My little heart goes boom when I hear this
melody playing. Sing, sing, zoom, zoom.
a little simple tune. Who
cares what the words may be saying?
Zing, zing, zoom, zoom.
You hear it once, and soon you find that you're humming and swaying. It's more than a waltz, it's just before it halts. It lingers with you night and day.
With this song in mind,
Your troubles you'll find.
zing, zing, and zoom, zoom.
Zing, zing. My little heart.
Goes boom.
When I hear this melody play,
A little.
who cares what the words may be saying? Zing, zing, zoom, zoom,
You hear it once.
and soon you'll find that you're humming and swaying. So whether you're young or whether you're old or whether you work or you play, take time out, be wise, give out vocal life, sing, sing, and zoom, zoom away.
Philco, famous for quality the world over, brings you
Don McNeil and his Breakfast Club. And here is your Toastmaster, Don McNeil.
Good morning, breakfast lovers. Morning to ya. We woke up bright and early. Just a howdy do ya. It's Bobby's call to breakfast. For all of you out there,
America, right with Breakfast Club is on the air.
Hello. Yes, we're having a celebration to end all celebrations. Well, I don't know. What are we celebrating?
Too much mustard in the pot and makes the bean too hot. Your kisses hit the spot. Just cool it down. Too much ketchup, too much spice, and spoil the shrimp and rice. Oh, babe, take my advice. Cool those kisses down.
thank you very much. Time since we've all seen her, I think when we all get a look at her, why, we'll recognize her very readily. She has a very charming voice, and she truly is a very charming young lady. Here she is, Paula Ray.
Lover, when I'm near you and I hear you speak my name.
a few footnotes about this operation. The procedure, we're going to make a short incision. Holy gee.
Softly in my ear, you breathe a pain.
And we've had a lot of difficulties bringing this program to you, technical difficulties.
All of my future's in you.
There's 3 jokes. Pick out one, won't you?
Promise you'll always continue to be mine.
Courtesy Motors has 2 fine programs a week.
And you hear me calling him, hey lover, come back to
Channel 7, WBKB in Chicago.
This is Chuck Bill once again with our TV special of the evening.
White rain, white rain, use new white rain shampoo tonight, and tomorrow your hair will be sunshine bright.
Pard is the finest dog food you can feed. So good, dogs call it Pard Burger.
Only Philco has it. The truest picture ever seen is yours with Philco Balance Beam. Only Philco has it.
$16.50 for this 1950 Chevrolet. $11.95 for this $795 for this $995 for this $1,195 for this 1948 Mercury. It's a car that can be yours for as little as
$55 million.
I really knew about this all the time. I just wanted to hear you say.
Where you save does make a difference.
Do you suppose you could reduce that to words I could use to the girls at the Fancy Doers and the Busy Thinkers Club?
Oh, that's easy, Aunt Fanny.
He said what you see on the outside of your skin is only the top of the pimple.
Well, hello, all you wonderful people.
This is WENR, Channel 7, signing on.
Sports fans, this is wrestling from Rainbow.
Stay tuned for Princess Mary's Castle.
And now, here's Mary Hartline and the Super Circus Band. Live from Chicago, it's Don McNeil's Breakfast Club. It's time now.
Presenting Bird Tillstrom, creator of Kukla, Ollie, and all the Kuklapopolitan players with Fred Allison.
No, she's waiting. Just anticipating.
Jim Moran, the courtesy man, has a deal you
Kind
can't
to your parents, you know.
Hello, Americans. I'm Paul Harvey.
Now, you're not exactly the type of character, personality that we have on our program. You see, your speech is a little artificial, should I say. It's, it's a little...
Yankee revolutions throughout all of Latin America. What is happening to the world that walks the tightrope between communism and...
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Fahey Flynn. Here's what's happening.
Hi, Jim Conway. And this is it. This is the place where each weekday at 8:30 we present 2 hours of live and lively television entertainment. This is the morning show.
Good morning, Jenny.
Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Susan.
Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Sandy.
Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Chicago. This is Kennedy.
And company.
Howdy.
Hope you can stay with us for Friday mornings AM Chicago.
TELEFIRST, the very latest in home entertainment, will debut in about 2 weeks. But tonight, Tim Ryan has a sneak preview.
Why not pick up the phone and call TELEFIRST?
TELEFIRST has been teasing Chicago for weeks, promising it's on the way. Today we found out just what it is.
TELEFIRST is first-run movies run first before you can see them on any other pay TV service, soon after they're in their local theaters, and you have the ability to watch those movies at your convenience when you choose.
To get those movies and other features will require no cables or exotic antennas. The signal comes from the top of the Sears building. In fact, from the same transmitter that carries Channel 7 signal. TELEFIRST is owned by ABC. The difference, you will have to own a videotape recorder and you will have to rent this little box from TELEFIRST. The TELEFIRST signal will be sent out in the wee hours of the morning, scrambled. Subscribers will have to record the program and later play it back through the decoder box. That box unscrambles the signal.
There is a big drawback, however, for people who might like to start a videotape library.
30 days after you record the movie, the decoder box, through the magic of electronics, will no longer decode. And your copy of Superman 3 will look something like this.
Well, you'll also
But TELEFIRST's Cohen says that shouldn't be a big problem.
Most people, contrary to the mythology, do not build libraries and have no real interest in having a library beyond a few special pictures that may be important to them.
The service is not cheap, $25.95 a month plus a $75 installation fee. But Cohen says the initial response has been very good, and the only real startup problem for TELEFIRST may be keeping up with the demand for these little boxes. Tim Ryan, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
And if you don't have a video recorder, you don't have to miss out on TELEFIRST. The company that leases those little decoder boxes will also sell you a videotape machine.
How convenient. One of the year's best meteor shows can be seen tonight if the clouds don't move in.